Do you want a new set of armour that's affordable, arrives super fast from Europe, and also supports Ukrainian armourers at the same time? Then use code MOLLY at medievalextreme.com for free express shipping.
Hold on. Okay. Yeah. I'm not driving. I don't have this straight line from my foot to my shoulder at this angle, right? I actually, my hips are in and low, and I'm pushing in and up, right? This is the point, and then my head is up. At this point, it's really hard for them to break my posture. Also, it's a lot of pressure on your opponent, a lot. Yeah. So it makes that double leg really easy. It makes switching that leg to do that, the outside trip that I just showed you guys. It makes it really easy too. Also, the problem with having your shoulder driving in like this, right, and your hips out, is it's really hard for me to get a good rip on that foot. It's really hard for me to actually close the gap because I'm starting with space, right? And then I'm trying to like clear all the space. It's easier to start, like Brett said earlier, it's easier to start a throw by getting everything locked in and then using the turn, right? When everything's locked in tight already as the momentum. It's easier to get this throw if all the space is gone and now I'm locking them into place and then I'm just moving my body, because at that point, they got nowhere to go except where you want them to. That make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Does anyone have any questions right now?
Could you show the way you initially step in? Because I know sometimes you'll lead with your back leg.
Buckle again as usual. All right. So from here, this is this gauntlet lock, right? And again, I'll preach this all the time. This is a really good place to start, right? There's two options here. If my head goes near side, I use my back leg. If my head goes far side, I use my front leg. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this is, again, what Brett likes to do, because it sets up in a Sotogari on the rail, right? Is he goes head near side, right? And he'll go back here, because now he has this position where he's got a lot of torque and a lot of movement, and I'm in here, right? This is fine. This is great. What I would suggest is this leg at this point needs to get back, and at this point then I need to drive my hips in and up, right? And I need to get this position a lot deeper, right? So that's if your head goes near side, you use the back leg. If your head, like I like to do it, and the reason I like to do it like this, and I explained this to Brett, is because the defense for this is for him to push on my head, right? And if he's, go ahead, push on my head a little bit. Right, if he's pushing on my head, I can't go anywhere, right? So a lot of times what I like to do is I like to clear this, and as soon as I clear it, I drive the head there and I bring that leg in.
Hook that one in too.
Right? So that's the typical defense, is if they're fucking with my head, I'll just use it, I'll pop that hand out, and then I'll drive my head into that shoulder. So even if they're facing me, right? They're facing me and they're doing this, right? By clearing that, boom, I have it here. This knee just shoots in, and then I just roll up into the rail, right? And then it's a matter of me dropping my hips and in. Peach? Yeah. Does that clear it up?
Yes.
Okay. So we went through the outside trip, really, and then we did the double leg. Now I'll just show you. We'll go back to that inside trip, and I think that's plenty, right? And so the inside trip is generally, for me, it's a response to their escape. Does that make sense, right? Yes. So if I'm in here with Buckle, right, and he starts to try to roll out this direction, right? He starts to roll the hips that way. He just gave me that inside trip and an easy takedown, right? I just inside trip here, right? Boom, and I just drive with my head, and he goes right down the rail. So if I come in, right, and I feel him roll those hips that way, I'm immediately gonna hook that and pick it up and then drive with my head, right? Only because he turned his hips, so his butt's facing that way. As soon as I see that happen, I'll go for that inside trip, right? You can kind of get it the other direction, right? Here, go back here, right? But I have to switch my feet, right? And I have to switch my head if he starts to roll his hips the other way. And then I can inside trip that direction. But Generally speaking, that inside trip is a response to them trying to turn and back their hips out. Because as soon as they do that and they do get this position, that's where I want their butt to go. Does that make sense? So again, so we can try it. Again, it's a little bit of a dance, right? I come in, I'm here, right? He starts to move his hips away. As those hips move away, then I inside trip and he goes down. Right? He walks into it.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Dan, would you recommend that for if you have a double leg and you're going to turn opposite your head, so your head is a push,
Yes.
pushes your
Again, yeah, so the question is about the double leg and using your head as a lever, right? So if my head's on the left side, it's really easy to push to the right. Okay? If my head's on the right side, it's really easy to push, right? It's really easy for me to do this with my head, right? So to drive their body that way, right? So if I'm here and I'm double legging, right? My head's on this side, I'm gonna step and then I'm gonna drive my head that direction, right? So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
My head's already there. It's a really easy lever for me. Okay. Any questions on that inside trip? Yeah. People walk into it. Like they'll turn and they'll do this, try to back away from that pressure, right? And then you just take that fucking foot away. And they go. Give it a shot.
Do you like the look of our team's custom activewear? Are you in need of some of your own for martial arts and fitness training? Then look no further than xmartial.com. Stand out from the crowd with your own badass design. X Martial offer high quality rash guards, spats, training shorts and more. Perfect for wearing underneath your sword fighting protective gear. Featuring highly durable and flexible materials, offering full range of motion while keeping form-fitting and highlighting your well-earned gains. There are dozens of amazing designs already on offer on their website. Check them out for yourself using the link in the description and use our code STEELWOLF for 10% off your next order at xmartial.com.